Well, hello. Alright, so this is my second video for the day. As you can tell from my other one, which was really short and it was about Thanksgiving and stuff. This one is focused on my frustrations in the generational gaps that we have, right? Okay, I hear the complaints all the time about what generation you are. I was born in '86 in April, so I was told that I'm a millennial. Okay, and a lot of people are upset with the millennials. I seen a thing where it said that the millennials were telling the baby boomers to, you know, sit back and shut up. And then the millennials complain about the Gen X and all this. I don't know what generation we are. I really don't keep up with the generations, right? But I do notice a change in the environment that we are living in. So, I just feel like this newer group of people that we have, I don't know if it's a generational thing, but it seems like everyone's so entitled. Like they feel like everyone owes them everything. They want everything handed to them, right? They don't want to do any of the work but want all of the benefits. You know, I work my ass off to do the best that I can do. And even then, I feel like I'm not doing enough. You know, I see it all the time where these people who come into the workplace or the work field new and everything, and they just don't have any drive. And I feel like the reason why they don't have any drive is because they've had it too easy. See, what considered your generation great and made you a hardworking generation was the amount of effort that you put forth to get the best outcome for yourself and during your generation. See, I worked really hard because I didn't have anything, right? My mother never worked, and there was a time when she did work as a waitress, right, at a club where, you know, she couldn't tell nobody she was at the club working for tips and stuff like that because it would interfere with the food stamps and Medicaid that she was getting. Other than that, there was nobody working. I started working at a very young age. When I was a young boy, the person that my mom was with, and this is the person I call my stepdad. He was addicted to crack. Right? And I remember there was times when I was super young, I want to say maybe around 10 or so, we used to go down to the corner store in the middle of the night, right? It would be relatively late in the day, and I would pump gas for people, right? You would pull up to the gas station, and I would ask if you would let me pump your gas, and you would give me a couple bucks for doing so. Because it was a little harder to tell a small child, no, you wouldn't give him something for pumping your gas, so I would pump people's gas all night. And then, you know, we would go, after the night was over, my stepdad would split the money with me, all the money that we made for the night. And then what he would do is he would smoke his half, and my half I would take home to my mom to help pay bills. And then as I got a little older and I got into middle school, what I used to do is there was a tire shop that was down the street. It wasn't super close. It was relatively far. But whenever I would go to the tire shop, I would get paid a dollar for every tire wheel that I would put back on the car, right? So I would take the wheel off your car. The guy who ran the tire shop would put the new tire on and everything, and then I would put your wheel back on, and I would make a dollar for every time I did it, because obviously I was too young to work, but everyone knew my family, and they knew that every dollar would help my family the most that it can. And plus, my stepdad was working there full-time as well, for the most part. And so, you know, I did that. I used to paint chairs. When I was around, I want to say 11 or so, maybe 12, there was these gypsy people that lived down the street from us. And at first, what it was is they would pay my mom to paint these chairs, right? They had this big old bucket full of paint, and they would just take these chairs and dunk them in the paint, and then stack them for selling. And then there was a time when my mom couldn't do it anymore, and so I would go down there and do it with my siblings and stuff like that as well. And then give the money to my mom and stuff like that, right? As long as I can remember, I've always worked, you know, to help support my mother and the household and stuff like that, because I have 4 other siblings. I have 3 sisters and a brother, and they're all younger than me, except for I have 1 older sister. So one of them is 1 year older than me, and everyone else is younger than me, and they are all roughly a year apart from each other. Now, I know I'm getting very personal with this video as far as letting information about myself be known, but you know, it was kind of my job. They told me that I was the oldest boy, and there was certain responsibilities that I was responsible for. You know, when I would make money, my mom would take the money from me and then give me a value of that money back to me in food stamps to use at the grocery store for junk food and stuff like that, because she knew that that's what I was going to spend most of my money on anyways, was junk, so that she would just exchange it. I remember there was when we first moved to our property that my mom has now, you know, it was full of trash, full of like broken bottles. We were just squatting on a piece of land for a while, and there was 6 of us in an Airstream. And I remember whenever, because my mom wasn't paying any bills back then, and I remember that the property owner made an agreement with my mom saying that he would sell her the property if she cleaned it up and everything, and allowed us to stay there. And we bought the property from him. But see, my mom wasn't working, because my mom was disabled, but she wasn't getting disability, right? Because back in the 90s, right after she got out of prison, where she served like a year or so, when she got out, I want to say a year or 2, I'm not quite sure, but sometime after she got out, she got bit by a mosquito that had encephalitis, and she went into a coma. And when she came back out, she had to relearn how to do everything. So she was a little off quite a bit, actually. But so she really couldn't work too much, because if she got overly excited and stuff like that, she would have seizures and stuff. So it was a little difficult. But you know, that's all I've ever known was to work. My uncle would come pick me up, and he would pay me to work for him doing stuff. So I learned quite a bit from him. I remember cutting grass and stuff like that for money. I was young, and I stole somebody's lawnmower and was cutting grass with it and everything. So, you know, I was always busy and always working, but the struggle was trying to keep everything paid, right? You know, paying the water, paying the lights, paying for the property. My mom had upgraded from the Airstream to a regular single wide trailer, and we had to pay him too. You know, so everybody was doing whatever they could to kind of make some money for the house and everything, but you know, it was needed to. We needed to work, right? And then as I started getting a little older, and I started to become a father and stuff like that, I just kept working. And I wanted my kids' life to be better than mine, right? I didn't want them to have to work for everything, as far as, like, you know, putting themselves in positions that were questionable and stuff like that, like I had done. But I feel like sometimes I made it too easy, right? That they have no responsibility, like they don't have any need. So now that say for instance, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law and them are older and they're becoming young adults, I see that they don't have that drive to become people that are work oriented, right? You know, hell, I said I was gonna do videos for my morning rides every time I take my brother-in-law to work, but he really hasn't been going. See, he doesn't have any responsibilities, no one depending on him and stuff like that. I can throw him out and make him fend for himself, but I feel like I failed by not teaching him enough to fend for himself. And that's my fault. I made it too easy. And I feel like a lot of these generational kids are products of us who were out there working our asses off to make a better life for them. And now it's too easy. They have no drive to better themselves because they already think they're in a good position. And they're fighting with everyone because they only know what they hear. They keep acting like they should have everything handed to them. They don't know what it's like to work from the very bottom and try to work your way up. They want to start from the top and then work their way up even further. They say that this generation is the smartest generation of all the generations, right? With technology and what's available to them. But I don't see it. I worry about this generation that we have now and all the future generations because I see a decline in education and skills. See, I went to a poor school, so they don't have any after-school programs other than football. There was no band. There was no nothing you can do in between. There was no like shop or anything like that, and so it's kind of depressing though, because the reason why a lot of these younger generations keep pushing for free college and stuff like that is because they feel like that's going to give them the skills to go into these jobs and be at the top of whatever that job skill is. But if I had to choose on giving them some kind of free education, I would probably do trade schools. Teaching them the basics of plumbing, maintenance, welding, auto mechanic, cooking, you know, janitorial, these kind of skills that at least give them something to fall on as they're working to better themselves. You know, I see a decline in education. Kids don't have to do homework anymore. Everything is online. It's the grading system has dropped. You know, if you look at what their grades are now, and they'll have a better letter by their grade, right? Because I think if you're in the high 50s and stuff like that, or in the 60s or something like that, you get a D. You know, I remember once you got a 60, 69, you had an F. You know, I just feel like we've made it too easy for this future generation. But they have it hard too, though. But not hard as far as you know, their lifestyles and stuff like that. But I mean hard as in technology is so open and so vast that the playing field is a lot larger. And everyone can see what everyone else is doing. So everyone wants that particular type of success. And they are preventing themselves from growing because they're too busy focusing on someone else's success. Right? I don't have a lot of success. I don't have people looking at me on my success because I just blend in with everybody else. But I wanted to do this video because I hear a lot about generations, like what generation you're from, what generation you're from. I remember being told myself that my generation had it easy. I don't know if it was easy, right? Because all I know is what I know. You know, I remember washing my clothes in a bucket outside and hanging them up on the line, right? Not having a telephone at home and not having TV and stuff like that. So I don't know. They say that these generation doesn't, they're not being punished for what they're doing and stuff like that. And see, my generation, you got an ass whooping from the neighbor, from your parents, or your one parent, whichever one you had, from the school. The school used to whoop you if you were acting an ass. The coach would whoop you if you were acting an ass. Whenever I started playing football for a little bit. It was a different time, right? But I don't know what to say about all this generational stuff. But I think we've made it so easy that now everyone's fighting over stupid shit that didn't matter before. But I don't know what else to say. I'm actually at my other job. I'm fixing to go to work. I haven't really been working that much at the second job lately, possibly because of my inability to work as frequently as they would like. So I'm only working an average of like 3 days in a week. I might even start looking to find something to fill that time in between too. But I do enjoy the time that I do have off because I go down to the park with the wife and the kid. I would say kids, but the other one doesn't like to go. Right? But it's alright. You know, it's just like I said, I just wanted to do this video. I know I'm not very polished, and I'm working on it. And as I grow, it will come a little more concentrated and focused and everything. I have been doing a lot of marketing of myself as far as networking with other channels and stuff like that, and trying to get my name out there. But other than that, I've been growing pretty decently, but I want to grow even more. And I will keep putting videos out. This is just my little roundup because I haven't been posting over the past couple of days. So I just wanted to go ahead and do this video for y'all. Okay. I will see y'all tomorrow. I will post a music morning ride in the morning on my way to work. And then in the afternoon, I'll probably post another video on topics that I might have seen throughout the day. Like I say, a lot of times during my time away from work, I really don't get too much information on what's going on in the world. But as the week is unfolding, I tend to keep track of a little bit more. So I will post some more stuff throughout the week, all right? I hope y'all all have a good day. And I am out of here, all right? Holla at y'all.